So, hello everybody, and welcome to today's Reiki and Ho'onopono circle. And we're creating an online community here in the circle, coming together for connection, inspiration, expansion, and healing. And I'm Kathy Brook-Wong, Reiki Master, and your host. And I'm very excited to introduce today's special guest healer, Kathy Williams, who's an artist, radio host, and awakening coach. And she is going to share with us Ho'oponopono, which is a powerful Hawaiian practice of making things right. So Kathy, will you please say hello and briefly tell us what you'll be sharing with us today?
Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to share two approaches to Ho'oponopono and how you can integrate them into your life and make them your own. At the end of my sharing with you, I'm going to lead a meditation that's a really powerful way to come to some clarity and resolution and ultimately forgiveness. And it's just been such a beautiful practice in my life. And when I teach it, I hear from people, this has changed and this has changed. I can't believe this has changed, And so, I would love to hear from you as well. It's a really potent tool. I'm also going to weave in how Ho'oponopono fits with the law of attraction, and how to sort of make it a living practice that is not some canned thing, because I think a lot of us, whether in social media or some kind of book, have been exposed to maybe four phrases of Ho'oponopono. Um, but you can really make it your own and allow it to change a little bit to be to suit you and not be like, this is how to do this. So.
Yay. Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Kathy. And I participated in one of your workshops last summer, and I've used it as a tool for healing and just coming to greater freedom, by letting things go and just loving myself and others more. So I can't wait for you to share this with everyone here in the circle today. And today I will be sharing a little bit about what Reiki is and how to use it for self-healing for my new friends in the circle today, and I'll kind of explain how I'll be sharing Reiki distantly with you today during our time. And then we'll be doing a short guided self Reiki and guided meditation for planting and nurturing some seeds that we plant. So planting seeds and nurturing it so that they could grow. So, but first, I'd like to start with the opening blessing with this kind of theme of planting seeds and watching them grow. And this is called Bloom. And this is a poem by Nikki Vanas from Walk the Earth. So go ahead and just close your eyes if you like, and you could put your hands on your heart, or you just put them in your laps and just get comfy for just a moment. This is called Bloom. So bloom where you are. Bloom despite the weeds and grow tall and beautiful anyways. Bloom where you are, even if you wish you were elsewhere. Take in all of the light when the sun is shining, and know that the rain is necessary when it's not. Know that everything you need to bloom is right inside of you. You already have the strength and capability to grow. Nourish your body and take care of your mind. Keep learning and growing. Let your true colors shine. Bloom. So Thank you. I see some other friends are joining us in the circle, so welcome everybody. Yeah, Bloom. Don't you love that? With that idea of blooming, I I wanted to just share this image with you. In a moment, we'll be doing kind of a self Reiki exercise to nurture some seeds that we want to grow. Can everybody see the image though right now? Okay, so I really, really like this. I like this image because, may we grow back, not to what was, but instead towards what we can become. And this is really beautiful because it gives a shout out or honors the roots where we come from, our ancestors, past life, our childhoods, and recognizes that sometimes the path we're going on sometimes feels like it's blocked or seems to be derailed, and although we know that everything happens for a purpose, to help us grow, but this image shows how we can grow, we will grow into what we are meant to become, and so many people have felt that with last year with COVID, we were sort of, some part of our life was severed, with that. It was so traumatic, but this is the new year for possibilities, focusing on the seeds that our souls yearn to plant, and witness them blossom. So for right now, what I'd like you to do, just kind of as an opening, is go ahead and close your eyes for a moment and go inside yourself and identify a word or a phrase that expresses a seed that you wish to plant and nurture in 2020. So what is a word or a phrase that can express what you'd like to nurture this year? And then what I'd like you to do is just write it in the chat. And I will be looking at those words and I will be sharing Reiki with them, some golden light, loving energy to kind of nurture them as we bring them forward. Okay. And welcome to my new friends that I see here, Carrie and Jackie and Arjang, our new friends. So bringing forward a seed of possibility that we'd like to plant. And while you're doing that, writing those in the chat box, I would like to just take a moment to explain a little bit about Reiki. I'm a Reiki master, and Reiki is a Japanese healing art form that is used to heal and balance and harmonize and even revitalize, and I think to free yourself and others with this spiritual power of Reiki, which means universal life force energy. As Qi, which in Chinese is known as Qi, is the energy that surrounds us all and has the ability to heal. And you all have ability to learn how to access it and work with it. So you can begin to channel the healing energy to heal yourselves and others physically, emotionally, and spiritually. And it involves loving intention and powerful hand positions. And so today I'll be sharing the Reiki with you distantly, as it can be shared across time and space and have a healing effect on the recipient. And so I will be infusing Reiki in your processes with Kathy, with the words, the essences, the seeds that you plant to help them nurture them and grow them. So yeah, and welcome to a few new friends who have joined the circle. All right, so now we're going to be doing a guided meditation so you can experience Reiki yourself. So what I'd like you to do, what you can do right now is get very, very comfortable where you are. If you like, you can, lean back into your chair and close your eyes. And we will be nurturing this seed, planting the seed in your heart, the glow of your heart, and nurturing it with some beautiful resources to help it flourish. Now, some of these resources, before we start the meditation, I'm going to just show you one more slide because I forgot I had it. So we'll hold on a bit here. So just for some ideas, but your inner wisdom will tell you what you need to have your seed grow and be manifested. Okay. But these are just a few ideas. So when we're going through this exercise of meditation, compassion can be a great resource. Compassion for yourself and others. Open your heart and see it grow. Love, prayer, mindfulness practices. So as you go forward with this year, these resources, you can bring them in. Right now we're planting those seeds and activating them. But mindfulness resources, yoga, dip, breath work, Ho'oponopono practices, self-care, taking care of your body, your mind, whatever nourishes yourself, connecting to people and resources that can help you achieve your goals. Okay, so now please go ahead and sink into your chair and close your eyes. And just listen to my breath. We'll just let it guide you and flow through you. And we're just going to do about 5 minutes. We're going to share together, going inside. You can place your hands wherever you want. And let's just take a breath out first. Okay. And now take a long, deep, slow breath in through your nose. Quieting your mind. And breathing out through your mouth, letting any tension melt away as you gradually relax into that breath. Let's breathe back in through your nose, long and deep, through your feet up to your head. And hold it. And let it out. So we're going to just take one more deep breath from the bottom of your feet, bringing in Mother Earth energy through your feet, the bottom of your feet, up through your legs and your torso, up to your head and out through your head. And letting it out, letting any stress or tension out. And you can breathe naturally now. Gently breathe, quieting your body. Okay. But I would like you to take your hands now and bring them in front of your heart. And rub your hands together. Rub your hands together. Your body's relaxed, but your hands are active. And you're creating some wonderful warmth, light, energy. Like you're rubbing two sticks together and you're creating here, imagine an orb of light that you're just kind of rolling with your hands. Roll of light. And try bringing your hands apart a little bit and you feel that orb of light between your hands. Imagine you're holding the sun in your hands. Now, scoop up that sun, that ball of light onto your heart. And warm up your heart like an electric blanket. And settle into that feeling for a moment. Ball of sun, golden energy in your heart center. Feeling your heart expand, sending love from your hands into your heart. And as you do that now, plant your seed. Plant your seed of something you want to grow, create, rekindle, experience during this year. You may see a color or a word or a vision of you putting the seed in your heart in the ground with tenderness and care. Now, as any loving gardener or steward of the seed, you're going to bring in a resource or two that can nurture, nourish, and uplift this seed. Imagine you can pour it onto this area. Just what it needs. Sun coming from your hands, supported by Mother Earth. Supported by your angels, your loved ones, and spirit guides on the other side. And as you pour this resource, compassion, love, peace, person, thing, as you pour it on, take one moment now to see some roots perhaps start growing from the bottom, or a beautiful sprout coming up, or just expansion. Perhaps other seeds are starting to grow. And feel in your body, how does that feel to create something new and love on it and put faith into it? Beautiful. So take one more second to just feel that in your body, to say thank you to yourself and source for helping you, giving life to this seed. And when you're ready, go ahead and one more squeeze on your heart and start wiggling your fingers and wiggling your toes and coming back to the room when you are ready, and stretch out your arms and feel the sensations on your skin and give yourselves a hug. Thank you so much for coming on this journeying with me and just feeling that self Reiki with yourself. Now, Kathy is going to share with you her wonderful gifts. And I'll be sharing Reiki in the background. So go ahead, Kathy.
That was beautiful, Kathy. Thank you. And thank you all for being here. So I'm going to open with a chant, and this is a chant about oneness. And the Hawaiians, as many cultures do, believe that we're all one. And so this is just to open and to remind us of the oneness that we are, that there's really not separation. And following the chant, I'll tell you a little bit about the background of Ho'oponopono, and then we'll talk about the 4 phrases that are so popular in modern culture, popularized by Joe Vitale in his book Zero Limits. And then we'll talk about how to make those your own. And in the meantime, I'll also talk a little bit about why those 4 phrases would work and what's that about. And then finally, I'll lead you on a little meditation that little no is a powerful meditation that is actually more along the lines of how Ho'oponopono was traditionally practiced than anything that most people are doing these days. So if we have a little background noise, I apologize. I'm in Hawaii. I love to be outside. The all of this nurtures me. So it was quiet until this point. So I'm gonna start with this chant, and this was taught to me. I worked with a kahuna, which is a word that means shaman, but more than that, it means master. So someone who has achieved mastery, and I interned with her for several years. She's no longer teaching, but you know, her teachings live on in the students that she taught. So e ho kahi kahi mana o e ho kahi pu vai e ho kahi malama pono e ho kahi aloha mau. So it's talking about how, and this is just a summary, it's talking about how in oneness we do what's right. In oneness, our hearts are connected to our speech and our action. In oneness, we live and are connected to our breath and to love and to life force itself. So that's in a nutshell. So Ho'oponopono is this practice that literally means to set to right. So I think of it like this is off, and I set it to right. Right? So in our behavior, in our interactions, we can feel when something feels off, right? And we're setting it to right with Ho'oponopono. And traditionally, this was done sort of in these areas that were considered a sacred space to bring your grievances with another person, right? To air out your problems. So you and the person or people usually you were having a challenge with would come, and you would talk it out until it was made right between all of you together. And it was set to right. And then after that, you were free of that challenge. You left the sacred space as though that was done. It's resolved. We're not upset about it anymore. We're not going to carry that with us. And you know, that was sort of lost as Christianity came in. However, there are people who have instituted it again, and there's a book I can when we send out the recording or something, there's a book talking about how people are reinstating this way of doing Ho'oponopono. Um, and that is sort of what we're going to be doing in our meditation later. But obviously, it's a meditation, so you're not bringing in your child or your mother or, that teacher you had in 2nd grade who told you that thing that you've carried for, 3 decades. You're doing it all in your head, which is actually very powerful, so I'm excited to share that with you. Um, so now recently there has been a different form of Ho'oponopono that's popularized, and I've referenced it a little bit, and maybe some of you are familiar with saying, and actually I would love in the chat to see who is familiar with Ho'oponopono, if you would just drop um, a word in. It's these 4 phrases: I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you. And Joe Vitale popularized this, and he had learned about this from a man named Hugh Len, or he had learned about Hugh Len, and had to go find out who is this guy, because the story of Hugh Len, or the legend, is, and he's a living man, and he studied Ho'oponopono in the 80s from a woman named Morna Simayona. And the story of him that is sort of legendary about Hugh Len is that he was a psychiatrist, and he worked in a mental hospital on Oahu and in Hawaii, and with people who no one wanted to work with, really. I mean, the turnover at this hospital was so high because people were abusive and they had committed horrendous things like killing their mother and stuff like that. And, there was just really high turnover because of these characters who were there. And Hugh Len would walk around the hospital and interact with people, but most of the work he was doing was on the patient's charts and not by working with the patients themselves. And what he would do is look at the chart and say, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, over and over and over and over. And interestingly, people started to change. Okay? They started to get better. Both the patients and the people who worked there. Okay. And now what Hugh Len would say is he wasn't saying, let's say the patient was, Joe Black. Okay. Joe Black did this awful thing and has schizophrenia or whatever. He's not saying, I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you to Joe Black. He's saying it to himself. I am loving, I'm forgiving, I'm thanking, I'm sorry for all the parts of me that are resonant with someone showing up in my reality with schizophrenia. With someone showing up in my reality who's hostile and violent. Okay. Because if I take 100% responsibility for what's showing up in my life, then all the work that I do is about me. Now, my small personality is going to say, no, I'm not creating schizophrenia in somebody else. Okay? I didn't create this hostile, violent behavior. Well, that's true. But on a deeper level, if we're all one, then you're responsible for what's showing up. Not in a, oh, now I have to judge myself, right? When I used to get sick, I would read Louise Hay's book and I'd say, oh dear, you know, I'm sick because I'm carrying this guilt. And now was feeling guilty about having the guilt that created my illness, right? No, this isn't about like glomming more judgment onto what's showing up for you. It's really about being, oh, cool. I have the ability to change things by recognizing the discordant parts of myself. Now, I don't have to cognitively know what those discordant parts are. That's really cool. Dr. Hugh Len will say, yeah, maybe that discordant part came in 16 lifetimes ago on a different planet. Right? It's really good that our conscious mind doesn't have to figure that out. It'd take a long time and probably not get very far. So this practice is called cleaning. It's just cleaning yourself, cleaning the discordant parts. Like Kathy's doing now, doing distance Reiki on us, cleaning. Okay. So I'm gonna show you a little sort of picture that I designed to help understand this a little bit. What are we really cleaning? So let me see if I can share the screen here. Yes. Okay. All right. So this is from a class that I teach. We're going to go over some of the things from the class today. So this whole pink is the divine, the creator, source, zero, the void, whatever you like to call it. Right? Your words for it. Now the pink, if it could, would actually permeate the whole triangle, right? So the pink is not separate from this triangle. The pink is pervading the triangle. It can't be separated from the triangle. But this whole, all of it is the divine, the source, whatever it is you like to call it. So then we have our super conscious mind. Our some people call it the higher self. For Hawaiians, we like the word omakua. And this part of you is all loving. So this part of you doesn't judge. This part of you is just kindness itself. And it guides and protects the individual, okay? The you that shows up as a body. Then we have the conscious mind, the uhane. Most of us are pretty aware of our conscious mind. This is the part of us that is doing the ho'oponopono, right? Is saying, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Until it becomes an unconscious process, run by the subconscious mind. Okay, then we have the subconscious mind. This is storage, right? This storehouse of all these thoughts, feelings, emotions, things you collected in childhood, things you collected from other lifetimes. This is called the unipili, okay? Unihipili. And so what's happening? Let me just, okay. Oh, the other thing we could consider the conscious mind is like the mother, and this is the child. We're not going to be, as the mother, mean to the child. We're going to coax it in a different direction. Hey, you have all these patterns, all this religious programming, all this cultural conditioning, all the all these things our family said that may or may not be true for us anymore. And so we're going to coax the child to let go of those, coaxing the subconscious to release them. Okay. And I didn't say that, but oftentimes, you know, the higher self, some consider a personal God, even though that's not necessary. And then it could be called, if we're using the father, mother, child idea, then the higher self could be considered the father. So we are deprogramming this storehouse of the subconscious mind with I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. Now, here's the thing. A lot of us have subconscious um, relating to certain words. Like maybe you don't like saying sorry. Oh, I feel bad when I say I'm sorry. Or there was someone who said, I don't like saying I love you. Right? So then when you're doing the 4 phrases, don't. If there's a phrase that you don't like, you just omit it. I mean, if all you said was thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, that would be enough. Then there is, do we have to mean it? Right? Do I have to mean it when I say I love you? No. When I say thank you? No. Okay. We are simply, through these phrases, transforming the data, the information, the memories that are creating dissonance from you recognizing that you're whole. Now, all of us have had moments of that recognition, whether it's when you were painting or dancing or meditating or running, right? We've all had that experience, even if it was for a brief window of oneness, where there was no identification with I, me, mine. Okay. And as you clear this data, that becomes more and more your experience. So essentially, we have 2 places to function from. We have inspiration. We're either functioning from inspiration, and that is where the information from source just comes in, and that's where we function from. Or from data, from the subconscious, from the memory, from the programming. So we're either functioning from that inspired place or from the old programming. And the process of Ho'oponopono is to get us more and more to function from that inspiration. So let's just practice for a moment. And what I'd like you to do is tap into, I'm gonna stop screen sharing, is recognize for yourself. I know a lot of you are familiar with energy, or even just like, how does my chest center feel when I say I love you? Does that feel expansive? Does that feel like feels weird? What's it feel like? And then what's it feel like when I say, and you can say this in your head or vocalize it, I'm sorry. How's that feel? And then, please forgive me. And thank you. Just do it again. All 4 phrases. The order doesn't matter. So if there are any that feel like, I have resistance, I have, you can type it in the chat. I have contraction. And that might be one that you omit. Now, I had been repeating these phrases for quite some time. And as I was driving down the road one day, they changed for me. This was sort of a spontaneous, inspired change. And I started to say, I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm thanking. I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm thinking. And it became this sort of continuous, nonstop, just a recognition that that's constantly happening through me, not by me. And so I changed that for myself instead of the traditional way that, well, and those aren't even super traditional, but the more common way that you hear those phrases. I'm loving. Right? It describes me, but it's like this unending verb. I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm thanking. And it almost contributes to more oneness because there's no you to forgive, right? I love you. I forgive you. Suddenly there aren't two, there's just one. I'm loving. I'm forgiving. I'm thanking. So I would love to just open it up for just one moment for questions about that, because then we're going to change gears and go into a little meditation.
Hi, Kathy. This is Kari. And I'm so grateful that you're in Hawaii. I'm so grateful you're in Hawaii. I love Hawaii. What a wonderful place. What I found interesting, growing up, my mother would corral my brothers and myself into, I guess, what would be called the sacred space. And we would have to share about what's bugging you, kind of that quote unquote bitch session, right? We had to air out our differences and our grievances. And it was amazing because at the end of this, however long it was, we would all be just laughing hysterically, and belly laughing. And then, of course, not even remembering why the heck we were all mad at each other in the first place. So it's interesting that growing up, I had that sort of ho'oponopono, not even knowing it, right? Yeah, so that made me, obviously, gave me a memory and sparked some happiness.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah. Sometimes these truths, hopefully, are not only used or accepted or embodied by one culture, right? We find that a lot of cultures do similar things to bring us to the same place. So your mom knew something. Anyway, any other questions?
Yeah, I
So
wanted
I
to ask
can,
you about I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Doug.
That one's really loaded in my family of
Yeah.
origin, a lot of automatic I'm sorries.
Yeah.
Can you speak about what a healthy I'm sorry is? And I could just put it down, but I don't want to just put it down automatically and leave that alone.
Right. And I do suggest that if it does take your vibration down, that you actually do Ho'oponopono on that. And just play with it and see what opens up. Yeah, so anywhere we have a contraction is a great place to like, oh, okay, let me explore this here. What's arising for me so that I can discover something about myself or uncover or unwind something. Because I would like to be a person who walks through the world contractionless. That means any situation, any conversation, any event that arises, I don't go like this. I be this. And ultimately be able to hold others in that, be spacious enough to invite others to that space too.
I understand. Yeah, it's night and day compared to the others for me. So yeah, that's a great
Yeah.
idea. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for seeing that too. Yeah. The
Kathy?
places where we have triggers, yes, I'll go to you next. The places where we have triggers are our biggest gifts. And I'm not saying go seek, go seek challenge, right? But I'm saying life is going to bring it to you and for you to see, and you get to awaken because of that. That's like a gift for you to be able to awaken. All right. Who was that? Sorry.
It's Ellie. I'm calling
Hi.
from Long Beach. Hi. Thank you so much for being here with us. And thank you, Kathy Wong, for having us in this space. I wanted to go back to the scene of the psychiatrist writing the notes on the chart. I was curious if I got confused with who was thinking what and who said what to who. And
Okay.
so I'm wondering if the psychiatrist was saying this to himself,
Yes.
writing the note. So you're holding it in consciousness. So you're holding this in consciousness about another person, but really it's also about yourself in a way, right? Because it sounds like that person is a mirror or of some sort of integrated in the oneness of self.
Yes. So if you're doing something crazy, I do Ho'oponopono on me. Right? Because you're showing up in my reality. So something in me is complicit in agreement with what's showing up. Okay. So I had a crazy renter. And when I say like crazy, I mean crazy. And it frightened me actually to be home alone because I didn't know what he was going to do. And so I actually did the long form Ho'oponopono, which we don't have time to do today together, but I did that. And I have tools. I've studied transformation for 20 years and I have like a list of certifications and tools. And Ho'oponopono is the one thing that gave me peace and the one thing that actually changed it. And like, I was not doing Ho'oponopono on him. I was doing it on me because he was showing up in my reality. And he changed one day. Honestly, out of the blue, he said, "You're right. I arrived last February 1st and I will leave on February 1st." And I was just like, Because prior to that, he was saying, you forged my lease and I'm going to sue you and blah, blah, like ridiculous stuff. And then it just like, it was gone on February 1st. It was amazing. So miracles may happen.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for the question. All right, we're going to move into this meditation. So I'm going to invite you to get comfortable. And if you have distractions, especially sounds, please mute. I think everyone is now. And make this your own. Okay, I always invite that. So go ahead and closing your eyes. Just bring your awareness to your breath. Starting to deepen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Sense your ribs widen on inhale and relax with each exhale. And bring your awareness to the center of your chest. And I'd like you to imagine a room here in the center of your chest, and as though you're very small. You see all sorts of doors around the room. And these doors lead to various places. You're going to find one that says, Forgiveness Hut. And you notice the letters and the colors of the letters on the door or above the door. And you sense what the door might be made out of. And which way it opens. Does it open toward you or away? And what's the handle like? And when you open this door, you're going to step onto a beautiful beach in a moment. So go ahead and open the door and allow it to take you onto a beautiful sandy beach. And you feel the warmth of the sun and hear the birds and the waves. Feel the sand under your toes, maybe squishing through your toes. Begin to walk along the beach toward your forgiveness hut. If you want, you can put your feet in the water or just walk on the sand. And along the beach, you spy an interesting piece of driftwood, so you pick that up. And you notice what makes it interesting to you. And you decide to carry that with you. And as you keep walking, you spy a beautiful shell. And the shell is so intriguing that you pick that up too. And you notice the markings, the shell, the coloration. And you put that in your hand and keep walking. And now you're nearing your forgiveness hut. So you get go a little away from the ocean now, and you see some tropical plants. And you know, just on the other side of these tropical plants will be your forgiveness hut. Yet you see a flower and you pick it because it's so beautiful and inviting. And you notice whether it has a scent or not. And part the plants and go on the little path to your own personal forgiveness hut. And when you open the door and go inside, a sense of peace descends over you. Like you can breathe more freely. Like this is a space where you can truly let go. We're going to bring in Lono, the Hawaiian god or archetype of peace. But before you do, set out 3 cushions to sit on or arrange 3 chairs in a U shape. One for you, one for Lono, and one for the guest you would like to create some resolution and peace with. And once that's ready, send a thought out to Lono. And you hear him coming up the path. When Lono comes to the door, he can come in any shape you request, any form. And greet Lono, welcoming him into the hut. And invite him to sit at the tip of the U shape. Now, think of someone you would like to create some more harmony with. Maybe someone you've had challenges with for quite some time. And send a thought out to the highest aspect of that person, their being or spirit. And invite them to come to the hut. And you hear them coming up the path. And welcome them into the hut in the best way for you. And each of you can take a seat. Now, we're all on mute. So feel free to tell this person everything you're upset with them about. Vocalizing it. I'm really upset with you for. It was so irritating when you. Feel free to speak it. And get it all out. Is there more? And now, remember, this is the highest aspect of this person. So we'll ask them, why did you do that? And listen. and thank them. And now you've been carrying energy that you don't need around this for quite a while. So Lono is going to bring a big bubble in front of you for you to breathe out all of the energy you've been carrying that has to do with this. All of the tension, all of the contraction, and all of this other person's energy. So take 3 deep breaths, just exhaling all of the tension. It's not necessary for you to carry it anymore, and see it going into that bubble. Feel it leaving. Exhaling all of their energy. That's not yours to carry. Exhaling even the things you weren't aware of that you're holding in regard to this. Now, Lono is going to turn this into neutralized energy. So he lifts it above the head of your guest, and you watch it turn a silvery color, and then maybe into a rainbow. And your guest is breathing in all the frequencies that they can use into their cells, tissues, energy field. Now your guest gets a big bubble to breathe out all of your energy and breathe all the tension they've been holding in regard to this. And you watch them breathe it into the bubble. And Lono brings this bubble above your head, and you watch it dissolve into neutralized energy, silvery, and then into a rainbow. And you breathe in now 3 slow breaths, breathing in all the frequencies that are useful for you on the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual levels. Breathe them down into your cells, tissues, and into your energy field. And thanking your guest for coming to have this resolution. Turn your attention to the flower, the shell, and the piece of driftwood, and choose one to give to your guest. Then say goodbye in the way that you like best. And watch them leave the hut. Now, in gratitude for Lono, choose one of the other items. And thanking Lono for being here. Say goodbye in the way that you like. And watch Lono leave the hut. And recognize the item you kept for yourself. And feel free to leave it in the hut here, or to carry it with you as you walk down the path out of the hut and back onto the beach. Walking down the beach back to the door that leads to the center of your heart. And recognize that the flower represents spiritual healing. The shell represents emotional healing. And the driftwood represents both physical and mental healing. And know that all of those took place here today on varying levels. Now, coming back into the center of your heart. Take 3 breaths, slow and deep, inhaling and exhaling, stretching through your arms, exhaling, becoming more cognizant of the world around you. Inhaling, energizing, and exhaling, fully embodying your entire body. And take your time to open your eyes. So as you reintegrate, feel free to either say in the chat or speak aloud a word about how you're feeling right now. Or if you'd like to share what was most helpful or what you might carry with you into your life from our time together. This is sweetheart. Grateful. We see peaceful, peaceful. This is Maggie and Carrie, and Eve says grateful. Beautiful. Oneness. Ellie, beautiful. Calm. What I've found is that the more I've done these practices, the more that sort of becomes my ground of being. I used to call it like bringing your yoga mind into your everyday life, you know, how you feel after a good yoga class, and just like allowing that to just continue and be your life. And I heard something like someone was gonna talk for real. Maybe not.
I can say something.
Yes. Thank you.
Sure. I thank you for being here. Thank you, Kathy, for hosting and pulling this all together. Um, Before we started the meditation and you were talking and we just got a chance to relax a little, I felt a great release. There was just something that happened. And it was before the meditation. So I was really looking forward to that. And I actually pulled in 2 different people. And I thought, well, is that going to get confusing? And it was a little bit, but it worked out. It worked out because when I was able to give the different things that we picked up, there was obviously one for one person, one for the other. And there was just a great feeling of, you know, I was walking back to the beach, this great feeling of just just a weight off my shoulders. When you said to come back, I didn't want to come back. I wanted to stay there. And so, and when you're saying that we can just stay there and we can bring it into our lives, that that meant a great deal, and that's exactly how I'm feeling. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And Maddie says, thank you for this. I'm in answer to a prayer.
Wishing I had a recording, which you all will receive. So, yes. Wonderful.
I'm sorry, I'm just rolled out of bed. Now I'm kind of glad because I'm going through an ugly cry. Just to take my last 4.5 years, my daughter has basically, since her dad passed away, she's wanted nothing to do with me. And I've been just like totally alone without family. And the workshop I had was about, I have to lose the identity of being her mother. I have to let the pain go because it's just been so, I can't even tell you how heartbroken. So this has really, really helped. She had her birthday the other day, and there's no way I can contact her. She's got all communication off. And her husband graduated from a nursing program on Friday. And I'm not allowed to talk to anybody. She doesn't want to be part of it. So thank you for giving me this healing. It's meant a lot.
You're so welcome. Yeah, it sounds really challenging, and I'm glad it was helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Maddie.
Oops, I can't take off the, how do I take off the hands? I don't know how to do that.
That's okay. All right. I know we're going to go to Kathy now.
Yeah. Kathy, thank you so much. That was really beautiful. And I felt a lot of beautiful energy here in the circle. And it truly is very powerful work. And I really appreciate you coming on to, share that with us. I would like for you to share how we can contact you. If people want to follow up with this or take other workshops, want to share a little briefly how we can connect with you.
Perfect. Yeah, I think the best place is my website, which is meetkathywilliams.com. And you can certainly, hit connect on that website and it'll get to me if you have any questions. I do have, as it says, online classes and healing sessions. Ho'oponopono. And I also have a radio show that's on Thursdays, and you can find that on the website as well. And I love YouTube. YouTube is a great place because I just share little videos and I share the radio show on there and stuff. And then SoundCloud, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. And all of that is Kathy Williams Public Figure. So that's how you can find the YouTube, but and Facebook and all of that. But it's all on the website as well. So the easiest place is meetkathywilliams.com.
Yay, thank you. And also I took a screenshot of this slide. So if anybody asks for it, I could email it to you or text it to you so you have this information. And so thanks for sharing with us. And also for new friends who are here in the circle, you can connect with the other Kathy. Here's my website and my email, and I'd love to connect with you on Facebook. And I have a On Wings of Joy Facebook group to support people. It's a loving community to support us in living in joy and creativity and authenticity and gratitude. So connect with me if you'd like. And it's been such a blessing to have all of you here in the circle, and it's free from our hearts. Love offerings are appreciated. So if you feel moved to do that, you can Venmo me whatever amount you'd like. And also if you'd like to have, experience Reiki for yourself or for a loved one, The price this month is only $50 for a 60-minute session. And lastly, before we leave, and I know Kathy's gonna close us out with a blessing, I do want to invite you to join us every other Sunday. I have some midweek meditation circles, and the next Healing Arts Circle is going to be on February 7th at 3 o'clock, and my special guest healer is Robert Burns, and he's been a thought leader in all areas of health and fitness, longevity, wellness, spiritual growth, and he's going to be sharing us some insight into new concepts of how epigenetics and biohacking techniques can help improve our genetic expression, and for the purpose of expanding health span and lifespan, and bring in some beautiful information how we can change the way we live to live stronger and healthier and bigger. So there you go. And Kathy, if you'd like to close us out with a blessing, that'd be great. We'd
Wonderful.
appreciate that.
All right. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just take this in. Aloha is a Hawaiian word that means hello. It means goodbye. It means I love you. And it recognizes the breath of life that we share with every other living being on this planet, exchanging that constantly in a dance of interwovenness. Aloha is being a part of all, and all being a part of me. Where there is pain, it is my pain. Where there is joy, it is mine also. I respect all that is as part of the divine, part of oneness, part of me. I will not I will not willfully harm anyone or anything. And if I do, I recognize it and correct it. Coming back to your heart, coming back to that openness of loving, forgiving, and thanking. Loving, forgiving, and thanking yourself for your presence. Your journey hasn't always been easy. Yet here you are. So thank you for living. Aloha.
Oh, Kathy, that's so beautiful. So thank you so much for blessing us with your beautiful wisdom and your gift and this practice. And thank you all for your conscious participation in this sacred circle of love, light, beauty, and harmony. Your energy is much needed on this planet at this time. So namaste, and thank you. Be well.
Aloha. Thank you all.
Thank you, and have a wonderful day, everybody. Wonderful week.